You know, our whole digital world is built for our eyes and our ears. But what if our devices could actually reach out and touch us back? Well, today, we're going to dive into the invisible force that's making that happen. We're talking about haptic technology, the science of digital touch.
Okay, let's start with something we all know, that buzz, right? The little vibration from your phone when you get a text or a call. I mean, we feel it every single day, but we probably don't stop and think about what's really going on in there.
So, have you ever actually wondered what's creating that feeling? Is it just some tiny motor rattling around in there, or is there, a bit more science to it?
Well, you guessed it, it's way more than just a simple shake. That little buzz is your front door into a massive and fast-growing field of technology. It's one that's designed to create a whole new language of communication, all through your sense of touch. All right, so let's get into the science. How in the world do our devices, which are just glass and metal and plastic, how do they manage to create all these different feelings, from a sharp click to a gentle rumble?
So this is what we call haptic technology, and the official definition is really important here. It's not just about vibrating, it's the art of applying forces, vibrations, or motions to you, the user. And the word itself, it comes from the Greek word haptikos, which just means tactile. It's literally the science of bringing a physical sense into our digital world.
For the longest time, the way this worked was actually kind of basic. An electric signal just spins a tiny little motor, right? But attached to that motor is a weight that's deliberately off balance. So when it spins, it wobbles like crazy. Seriously, think of a washing machine on its spin cycle when all the clothes are on one side. Now just shrink that down to fit in your pocket. That wobble is the vibration you feel. That's called an ERM, or an eccentric rotating mass motor.
But of course, technology never stands still. While that ERM motor gives you that strong, kind of mushy general buzz, a lot of newer devices use something called a linear resonant actuator, or LRA. This is the magic behind Apple's Haptic engine. LRAs are just so much faster and more precise. They don't just buzz, they can create sharp, distinct little taps, clicks, and even subtle textures. It's really the difference between a sledgehammer and a scalpel.
And because we have this incredible new precision, haptics have moved way beyond just your phone notifications. I guarantee you are interacting with this technology in places you don't even realize. I mean, the applications are just exploding. We see it in obvious places, sure, like gaming and VR, but it's also making a life-saving impact in medicine. It's creating smarter dashboards in our cars. It's even helping people feel sounds they can't hear. It's this quiet revolution that's happening all around us.
Okay, get this. In medicine, you've got telepresence surgery. A surgeon can be in New York controlling a robot in Los Angeles, right? And with haptic feedback, they can literally feel the resistance of tissue as they make an incision, just as if they were right there in the room. This isn't science fiction. This is happening right now, saving lives.
Or just think about your car. So many cars are getting rid of physical buttons for these big touchscreens. Well, haptics make that way safer by giving you a little click sensation so you know your command went through without having to take your eyes off the road. Or a steering wheel that gently vibrates to tell you you're drifting out of your lane. It's just a brilliant, simple safety feature.
And of course, for a lot of us, gaming is where we first really experienced haptics, and it's an amazing way to see the evolution. It started way back in 1976 with an arcade game that made motorcycle handlebars vibrate when you crashed. Then, in 1997, the Nintendo 64's Rumble Pack was a total game-changer for home consoles. And now we have controllers like the PlayStation 5's DualSense that are so sophisticated they can make you feel the individual plinks of raindrops hitting your character's umbrella. It's incredible.
Okay, so far, everything we've talked about involves feeling things you're physically touching. A phone, a controller, a steering wheel. But what if you could feel things that aren't even there? This is where haptics start to feel like actual magic. See, up to this point, we've been in the world of contact haptics. You have to be holding a device to get the sensation. But the future? The future is mid-air haptics, the ability to project the feeling of touch right through open space. No controller, no device, nothing.
So how on earth is that even possible? Well, two of the leading methods are just fascinating. One uses focused ultrasound. Basically, a grid of tiny speakers sends out sound waves that all meet at a single point in the air, creating a pressure point you can actually feel on your skin. The other method uses air vortex rings. It literally shoots these tiny, super precise donuts of air that can give you a physical tap from across the room.
Just think about what this could do. Imagine reaching out and feeling the shape and texture of a virtual vase just floating in your living room. Imagine being able to literally feel a hologram. Mid-air haptics are the key to making all these sci-fi visions a reality.
And we're not even stopping in midair. For total immersion, companies are building full haptic suits. These things use tiny electrical pulses to stimulate your muscles and nerves, letting you feel complex sensations all over your body in a virtual world, from the push of the wind to the, jarring impact of a collision.
So, after all this incredible tech, you have to ask the big question, why does this matter? I mean, why do we actually need a digital sense of touch? Because believe me, it is so much more than just a cool gimmick for video games.
This quote really just says it all, doesn't it? For decades, our entire digital lives have been limited to two senses, sight and sound. We look at screens, we listen through speakers. Touch is the missing piece. It's the next great frontier for how we connect with technology.
When you add touch, technology starts to feel less like a tool you're using and more like an extension of yourself. It makes things more intuitive, experiences more immersive, and this is so important, it makes the digital world more accessible. Think about it. Haptic vests can translate sound into complex vibrations, allowing someone who is deaf to actually feel music.
So I'm going to leave you with this one final thought. We spend so much of our lives interacting with this incredible digital world, but it's all through a piece of glass. What happens to our experiences, to our communication, to our very connection with each other, when that digital world can finally, truly touch back?